All right, so we're going to look at a couple of examples using the graphing calculator with graphing linear inequalities. First example I want to look at is number 8 on this worksheet here. Y is less than or equal to 4 over 3x minus 4. So our main thing is we have to make sure y is by itself. Okay, I always say y equals, with quotes here. Y is by itself, so I'm able to graph this. Now in my previous video we talked about slope and y-intercept. We're going to allow the calculator to do the work for us. All right, so if we use our graphing calculator here, if we go to y equals, now I could plug this in just as I see it here, 4 over 3, x minus 4. Now, if I were to graph this, I'd see a line as to what this looks like. And making sure we press second graph to see the points that we would plot on this line. So here I'm going to look for points that I can plot: 0, negative 4, 3, 0, and 6, 4. Now, if we look at my graph, the calculator does not know the difference between solid or dotted lines, at least this one doesn't. So I do have to look at my symbol again. Since there's a line underneath, this is going to be a solid line. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and connect my dots, drawing my line here, arrows on it. I'm also going to get in the habit of labeling 4 over 3, x minus 4. Now for an inequality, we still need some sort of shading. Beforehand, when we did it without the graphing calculator, we picked a test point. Well, the calculator is going to do the work for us. So I'm going to go back to y equals, and I'm going to scroll all the way to the left here until my cursor is blinking on this, the blue box as well as the line here. I'm going to press enter. If you notice, a screen comes up. I don't care about the color, I'm going to leave it as blue, but I'm going to go down to where it says line. And we talked about it in class. I'm going to scroll over till I see the triangles. The triangle that's facing up is greater than. The triangle that's facing down is less than. So for this example here, I have the less than or equal to, so I'm going to have the triangle that's facing down here. I go down, I hit OK. Now when I press graph, the calculator will do the shading for me. I didn't have to pick a test point. I just have to match my graph with what's on the calculator, so I'm going to put my shading down here. Okay. I'm going to look at another example here. I'm actually going to flip the paper over, look at number 9. Just to show that y is not by itself. So when y is not by itself, we do have to get y by itself, doing the same things we would do if it was an equation here. I'm just going to rewrite this. 3x minus 2y is less than 10. I want to subtract 3x from both sides. Keeping negative 2y on that side is less than, I'm going to write it as mx plus b, so I'm going to do negative 3x plus 10. And we still have to get y by itself, so I'm going to divide by negative 2 here. I have to divide everything by negative 2. Our flag should have came up because I divided by a negative in an inequality here. So I have to flip this inequality sign. So this becomes y is greater than, negative over a negative is a positive, 3 over 2, x minus 5. Now that y is by itself, I can go to my calculator. I do have to realize that this is going to be a dotted line. Dotted or dash, depending on who you're talking to. So I go back to y equals, I clear out of this, and if you notice when I hit clear twice, it goes back to my line here. So I want 3 over 2, x minus 5. Again, if I press graph, I'm going to see a picture of what this line should look like. Very similar to my previous example. If I hit second graph, regarding if it's shaded or not, I'm going to see the points that would be on this line. So I'm going to go ahead and plot 0, negative 5, 2, negative 2, 4, 1, and 6, 4. And we said this was going to be dotted. I'm going to label it with my original 3x minus 2y is less than 10. I'm going to go back to y equals. You could do this all in one step. I'm just, for instructional purposes, going to do this. It's the greater than symbol, so I want to press enter here. I want to go down, again pressing the right or left arrows until I get to the triangle that's facing up. I hit OK, and now when I hit graph, it's going to do the shading for me. So we have all this shading here. So on my graph, I'm going to put my shading here. You don't have to color it all in. This is fine, knowing that my solution set is all the points in this shaded region, not the points that are on this dotted line. In my previous example, the solid line will have points that are on my solution. Again, if you were to plug it in, it would make the inequality true. If you were to plug in a point that's on this line here, it would not make the inequality true because of the less than sign. So again, here the calculator does all the work for us. We don't have to pick a test point. I do want to show with an older model of the calculator, if I go to y equals, clear this out. If I go over, and it's hard to see because it's in black and white, the calculator will blink on the symbol here. If you press enter, it doesn't pull up a menu, but it just changes the symbol here. So if I press enter, there's the greater than sign with a triangle facing up, and there's the less than sign with a triangle facing down. So if you were to do this on your own, hopefully this video helps you guys out. All right, thanks a lot, guys.